Good evening and welcome to the program. First tonight, the frustration of spending good money on fruit and veggies that after only a few days turn mouldy and inedible. Now, we've scientifically tested produce from supermarkets and local stores right across Adelaide to see just how old the fruit and veg you're buying really is. The results are alarming, and as Pippa Bradshaw discovered, where you live also makes a big difference.
I think it's pretty gross.
Would you buy fruit if you knew it was 8 months old?
No, of course not.
That's way too long a time to store these fruit and vegetables for acceptable quality.
It's pretty unbelievable. How's that possible?
It's our fresh food farce. We found some produce in the supermarkets are up to 8 months old. What do you think about that?
I don't think very much about that at all. I mean, it's terrible. There should be a law against it.
We all buy it, fruit and vegetables from supermarkets, independent stores, greengrocers and markets. But how fresh are the claims our retailers make about their produce?
We do put faith in the supermarkets to sell us fresh produce.
And does where you live play a part in how fresh your food is? You bet it does, and tonight we'll show you who is getting a raw deal.
If you go to a supermarket, you expect to get a good quality produce.
We put our fresh food sellers to the test. We sampled fruit and vegetables from our major retailers, Coles and Woolworths, as well as Foodland. We also tested a fruit and vegetable shop in Adelaide's north, east, south and west. We packaged it all up and sent it express to Sydney for testing.
Some of the stores were quite variable. Like some of the independent stores, there were some exceptionally good lines, and some of the lines were very poor quality.
Food scientist Dr. Stephen Morris and his expert team analysed dozens of samples of apples, beans, carrots, corn, lettuce and pears and grapes. With all our produce, he tested for age, taste and condition by examining each item to test for disease as well as firmness and blemishes, while also analysing acid and sugar levels, which is a key indicator of age, allowing Dr. Morris to date when items had been harvested and getting to the truth of claims made on packaging.
Yes, it is misleading because the customers really, without specialist knowledge, have no way of knowing they're getting a really good quality produce.
And what he found may have you second-guessing what you buy and where.
Customers go to the supermarkets looking for quality produce, and when they try to select it, what they take home can be a profound disappointment to them.
Of all the produce tested, it was the apples and pears that were found to be the oldest. In some cases, they'd been picked 8 months ago.
Granny Smith apples, and they had been harvested quite early in the harvest season. And that makes the apple firmer, but also it means it's a lot tartar and has a lot more acid in it.
The grapes we sourced were imported from California and up to 2 months old. Despite claims on the packaging, they were picked just 3 weeks ago. And then there were the carrots and beans that ranged from a week old in some stores to more than a month old in others. Dr. Morris says any more than a week old is not acceptable.
Some of the carrots would not really be acceptable for eating. The quality was really poor.
While the lettuce and corn were also past their best dates in half our stores, all a lot longer than Stephen says it should be kept.
We had lettuce that was 3.5 weeks old and in appalling condition.
Appalling, yes, but not surprising to some customers.
I think people are naive if they think otherwise, and it's a convenience, and if you're prepared to pay for that and compromise, that's your privilege.
I suppose it just poses the question, like, what's been done to give it that sort of shelf life as well? It's pretty crazy to think that something was harvested 8 months ago and, it still looks normal.
My Kitchen Rules winner and mum of two, Brie May, says it pays to know what you're buying.
I do read the signs and I do read stickers to find out the origins of my fruit and veg if I am in a supermarket.
She says when it comes to fresh produce, local is always best.
At the end of the day, it's going to taste better too, and it's cheaper. If you're buying stone fruit in the middle of winter, it's going to be hard and tasteless, and you've got to know that it's come from overseas.
What we want to see is the supermarkets following those freshness and quality regimes that they demand of the growers.
AUSVEG represents the interests of Australia's fruit and vegetable growers. Tom Cohen says more pressure should be put on the supermarkets to deliver the produce when it's fresh.
It comes down to the growers producing the best quality produce that they can on the farm, and then it is up to the supermarkets to retain that quality and freshness once it leaves.
So who really does sell the freshest produce in Adelaide? Well, if you live in Adelaide's west, you're in luck, with our research showing it rated the best. It was closely followed by our produce from Elizabeth, with the east being Norwood coming in third for its freshness, and Morphett Vale in the south coming in last.
It's a buyer beware. You're not always going to take home the best quality produce.
When it comes to which chain to trust, our green grocers and Foodland chains in all 4 areas came out on top. But there was some good news, with South Australian producers coming out on top as well, in particular in beans, lettuce and carrots.
The really interesting things of this research was that there's a fantastic carrot grower in South Australia, and the quality was the best I've ever seen.
So the tips: look at what you're buying and always try and shop local.
I guess one of the telltale signs is you have to poke around and look at it carefully and see if give it a bit of a sniff and feel if there's any wet, soft patches.
You just need to be aware of what you're putting in your trolley. You know, do take the time to read the labels. Do take the time to read the stickers on your fruit.
Oh my gosh, that's disgusting.
Pippa Bradshaw there. Now,